guys, it's Izzy here, and today I'm going to be doing my September book haul. So I'm not using a microphone today because nobody has complained since I started using a microphone, but I just want to know how it sounds without using one versus using one. And then my camera does look kind of crooked, so I hope this isn't crooked, but it may be, because I cannot find the perfect angle on the tripod. So I'm doing a little Easter egg today. So if you've been a long time subscriber, this is since before I had 100 subscribers, because it was my September book haul last year, which I'm going to leave link down below in the pinned comment. If you want to go check out that video, tell me in the comments of this video what the Easter egg is in this video about that video. Let's get into this video. So we're going to be starting out with the two books that I got on Amazon. I've done how I buy my books before. If you would like to check out that video, I will put an icon up there in the top right hand corner of your screen. So I'm not going to explain how I choose which book. So our first book we got this month is The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas. So this is a thriller and it looks YA. So I've never read a YA thriller before. I have not heard the best things about YA thrillers. So I hope that the things I've heard are wrong and that this is still good. And on the back it says a little bit Riverdale and a little bit Veronica Mars. Now I haven't seen either of those, but I know they're both very popular. So if you like those, maybe you'll like this. So what I know about this book is in this town, these cheerleaders, the cheer squad, they start going missing, presumably dying. I don't know if they find bodies or not, but I mean this book has blood splatters all over it. So I'm going to assume somebody is out here killing cheerleaders. So our next Amazon purchase is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. Now I just love this cover, this whole book, the dust jacket. And then we have the, I always forget, is it pleated edges? How the pages look like that? I'm not sure. So this is a historical fiction novel set in London in 1893, so in Victorian times. And is this the one where I get these confused? But yeah, I don't know much. That's really bad. Yeah, my hauls are always really bad for description wise because I haven't read these books yet. For me, for all books, I like going in not knowing anything really, so I don't have great descriptions in my hauls. But if you watch my wrap-ups, I do, so go watch those. So now we are going over to my Barnes & Noble purchases. So our first one being, I actually have a funny story of what happened when I went to Barnes & Noble. So it was on Labor Day because I go the first day of every month. But the first day of this month I was at a NASCAR race, so I was not able to go. I could have gone, but I just tried to relax a lot before I go to big events like that. So I didn't go. So I got the next day on Labor Day, and the mall was going to close at 8 p.m. And that is just an hour earlier than usual, and obviously I'm going to get to Barnes & Noble before 8 p.m. So I go, and I actually found every single book that I was looking for, and that's the first time that has ever happened, so good on me. And I do like to spend time looking in there because I'll probably buy the whole bookstore, but it comes on the speaker and the lady's like, we are closing in 4 minutes, and I'm like, I thought they were closing in 2 hours. So apparently I think Barnes & Noble got the wrong memo or something, because none of the other stores in the mall looked like they were closing, but Barnes & Noble was closing. I don't know. So I got a non-fiction novel, and this is Daughters of the Winter Queen, Four Remarkable Sisters, The Crown of Bohemia, and the Enduring Legacy of Mary, Queen of Scots. And this is by Nancy Goldstone, the author of The Rival Queens, which I have. It's a few books back. Tom Petty's there today. But this is, I think The Winter Queen was Anne of Bohemia, or is it Henrietta Maria? I'm not sure. Okay, well it says from Okay, here we go. From the great courts, glittering palaces, and war-ravaged battlefields of the 17th century comes the story of four spirited sisters and their glamorous mother, Elizabeth Stuart, granddaughter of the martyred Mary Queen of Scots. So if you've seen Reign, that's it. This is about her granddaughter and then her great-granddaughter. So the thrilling family saga of five unforgettable women who remade Europe. So yeah, there are a lot of iconic women in this book. Yeah, so there's what I see. There is Princess Elizabeth, who is the oldest, and Louisa, Henrietta Maria, and Sophia. So all of them right there, and I guess that's their mother in the middle. So I did get the hardback of this, which is more expensive, obviously, because I wanted at least one hardback on this trip to Barnes & Noble. And that's the one I got. So our next one is kind of on the same topic, and this is the one at Barnes & Noble that I didn't think I'd be able to find, but I did. And that is Victoria's Daughters by Gerald M. Packard. Obviously, this is about Queen Victoria's daughters. And Queen Victoria is the grandmother of Europe. So many of the current royal families are descended from her. Obviously, the English, I think, even the Norwegian, maybe? I do know there's a tie with Norway because Maud was an English princess and married the heir to the Norwegian throne, but I don't remember that's before Victoria or after. I'm going to say after. Maybe Denmark? Yeah, I do know Denmark for a fact because that's how... What is his name? Is it Nicholas II, who is Tsar Russia and the Bolsheviks got? That he was related to George V, who is Queen Elizabeth's father. They were cousins and they looked so similar because his mother was Danish. And then the woman he married was somehow a cousin, something like that, but she was also a granddaughter of Queen Victoria and she was German. So yeah, there's so many of all these women were basically married into all the different royal families of Europe, and yeah, so that's how like everybody is descended from Queen Victoria in the modern royal family. So our next one, I'm not entirely... The next one, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce or what, but it's this one. I don't know if you say NOS for a 2 or if it's NOS for a 2 by Joe Hill. This was recommended to me by a friend, and then just some people on BookTube I've been seeing talk about. It's a horror novel, and I've heard some about it, but again, for like thrillers, especially thrillers, I don't like knowing anything horror novel. So our next one is one I'm very excited about. I'm sorry I keep bending over. It's just I don't want to sit with all these in my lap. And this is Appetite for Dysfunction by Vicki Hamilton. Now, if you don't know who Vicki Hamilton is, she was like the first manager of the band Guns N' Roses, who are my all-time favorite band. So this is, at one point, they like all lived with her, but Duff, he was living with a girlfriend, and that would be crazy living with all of them. And this is just her memoir, and I actually got it signed. I thought it was just going to be signed, but it was actually personalized just for me. My name's Elizabeth, if you didn't know that. But Elizabeth, I hope you enjoy the ride. Rock on, Vicki Hamilton. So I am so excited for this. And actually, we had Tom Petty's book up there, and I think Tom Petty was the one who told her to move to California and all of that. And she did, and got involved with the music industry. So I think that's a very cool story, and I kind of maybe would want to do something in the music industry. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things I want to do, so I don't know if the music industry is one of them, but... So now I'm going to my book of the month, YA. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep getting the YA box, just because I prefer reading adult, and I have nothing against YA, but you can still get the YA books with the adult box. Like, I don't think any of these are YAs, because I am missing books on the shelf. We're talking about that later. But you can still get the YA books with the adult box, so it's okay. So I think I'm just wasting my money getting 2 boxes. It's not a lot of money. It's only like $10 for a box, so I'm only spending like $20 a month, but still. So our first one, which was my choice of the month, was The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. So this is a Nordic historical fantasy. I don't know what happens. The story of an entwined destiny between a girl burdened with mystical foresight and a warrior untested in battle. So is it about 2 people then? Yeah, I can't pronounce the names because I don't know any Nordic stuff. I'm sorry. But Eye of God's giving sight is what it says. So I don't know. But fantasy, historical, Nordic sounds good to me. So our next one I do know more about, and it is When the Sky Fell on Splendor by Emily Henry. So this takes place in Splendor, which is a small town in Ohio, and this book is very reminiscent of Stranger Things from what I have heard. Obviously they have bicycles on the cover, but this is set in modern times, since I did see something about a YouTube channel on the sleeve. I guess I saw it on the sleeve. I don't know. But aliens are coming to small town Ohio. That's what I got from it. Okay, going to my adult book of the month box this month. I actually got 2 romances, which is kind of rare for me to get romances. So our first one is one that has been on my TBR, and it's a new release, and it is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore, and it says A League of Extraordinary Women novel. And so this book takes place again in Victorian times, and our main character, Annabelle. So Annabelle Archer is one of the first women to attend Oxford University. And so obviously that's very, she probably gets a lot of judgment, I would assume. So one of the things of getting the scholarship into Oxford, she has to support the women's suffrage movement in England, obviously. So one of the goals is to convert the Duke of Montgomery to join their cause, because having a duke would obviously bring a lot of eyes to their cause and help the suffrage movement. So our next one is Well Met by Jen DeLuca. So this is an enemies to lovers, which is one of my favorite tropes, and it takes place at a Renaissance fair. Now I have never been to a Renaissance fair. We don't have one where I live. There is the Carolina Renaissance Fair, which is in the Charlotte area, and I really want to go, so hopefully I will be able to go this year. They have it several weekends, so I don't know what weekend I would go or anything, if anybody's wondering. So enemies to lovers at a Renaissance fair sounds good to me. Okay, getting into our last few, I bought 3 of these, and then one was a gift. That was unexpected. So our first one is In Bed with the Tutors, The Sex Lives of a Dynasty from Elizabeth of York to Elizabeth I by, I don't know how to say her name, Amy Leisness? I don't know, but she writes a lot of nonfiction works about the Tudors. Now I have watched a documentary kind of about this. You're probably like, wow, you're watching a documentary on their sex lives. No, it was about all states of lives, and I don't know exactly if it was Tudor. I think it was medieval England, and I mean it starts at birth and going to what marriage was like in this time, what death was like in this time, and all that. So obviously you start at birth because that's when you come into this world, and so this is just how at this time women died a lot more giving birth and all. And even if you were, I just love when my camera cuts me off. It cuts me off after 13 minutes, so if where I'm sitting changed and all, that's why. So that, but the book is Medici Ascendancy by Matteo Strocco, I'm not sure. So this is starting out with like the murder of Giovanni de Medici and going to how Cosimo becomes the head of the Medici family bank, his brother Lorenzo, and all of that. So if you've seen the show Medici Masters of Florence, that's what this book is about. So this is, I've been wanting a historical fiction novel on the Medici family for so long, and they have one on like Catherine de Medici, which there's some back there probably, and there's a ton on her, but there's none like on Cosimo, on Lorenzo, and I'm like, they changed the world. Especially Lorenzo the Magnificent. He changed the world so much for the better in my opinion, but there's been no historical fiction novels on them. So now there is, and this is a series, this is just the first one, and it just got published in English, so I'm going to read this part because I do love what it says. So it says, Dukes of Florence, Pontiffs of Rome, Financiers of Kings, Godfathers of the Renaissance, arbiters of peace or war, emperors in all but name, Medici, a family business. So I'm super excited about that one. So the next book I got as a gift on Sunday, my dad just handed it to me and was like, I got you a book. So it's like, Who Killed the Women Known as the Jeff Davis 8 Murder in the Bayou by Ethan Brown. So this takes place in Louisiana between 2005 and 2009, and this is a nonfiction true crime, which I've never read a true crime book, even though I love true crime. So this bodies of 8 women were discovered around the murky canals and crawfish ponds of Jennings, Louisiana. So the Bayou and Louisiana's history just fascinate me in general, with the French, the Cajuns there, and all that. I just think it's really interesting. So our last book is one I got yesterday, and that is City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. So this is kind of like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It is a older woman and who's already lived her life, and she's going back and telling the story of everything she did in her life. I think she was a designer from just one of the excerpts that I read. That's what it seemed like, that she was a designer. So that's very cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye guys. So if you stayed till the very end of this video, I would like you guys to go over to my Bookstagram page. The link is going to be down below in the pinned comment. And I am posting a post, which by the time this video is up, it's already up, of several fall books of which book I should read in October, because I honestly have no idea what I want to read. So I'm letting you, the people, decide. So go check that out.